Welcome in to the Free Skate Friday DNVR Avalanche podcast. Y'all know the drill. Fun day. We're just going to screw around. But first of all, thank you very much to everyone for sending in all of your jerseys. Y'all sent in way too many for us to actually look at them and tell you how amazing they are. So we're just going to have a ton of pictures of a bunch of amazing jerseys, and y'all can appreciate them. But thank you again for everyone who sent in their pictures.
An overwhelming response to the point where Rudo and I were like, well, we could probably do this again.
Yeah.
Pretty easily because we had... I had to turn some people away who hit me up yesterday and were like, where do I send my jersey collection? And I was like, whoa. Let's not do it. We have enough. We're good.
Turns out some of you own a lot of jerseys.
Yeah, I was thinking that some of these jersey it was going to be like 8 or 9 of them with like 1 or 2 jersey collections being like, wow, that's a lot. But no.
Some of you sending us like 80 jerseys.
Yeah. Some of you guys own more jerseys than I do just clothes.
That's true.
So
it's the way she goes. On today's episode, in a little bit, we'll be roasting some rosters. But first, as we get to look through the jerseys, we did want to talk about a topic that seemed to crop up a little bit last night in the conversation of the NHL actually having a season or not, and why it would be such a disaster for the Avs if it didn't happen.
Yeah, it would be a mess, right?
Yep.
Especially like if they just advance all the player contracts for a year, which I think they would have to do in order to get players to agree to it. But you're talking, you lose a year of McKinnon's window, or McKinnon's current contract. That's the Ladniskog one. Yes, that was a great one. You lose a year out of all these guys' primes. You know, part of what makes Colorado so scary is that they're as young as they are.
Yep.
And to just burn a year.
Just waste one.
Waste
one.
Worst case scenario.
Obviously, terrible. And I do wonder if they would actually push the contracts. I don't know that they for sure would. And if they don't, things get even worse for the Avs. They essentially acquired Saad to never even see him play in an Avs jersey.
Yep.
Unless they could extend him or something, but that'd be a whole other conversation. They would lose years off of numerous ELCs. They would lose years towards free agency and guys like Burakovsky, who's on a bridge, and a handful of other guys as well. So it would feel really, really rough for the Avs to have put this team together, for them to be cup favorites right now today, and then the NHL just be like, nah, we're good.
Yeah, I mean, you mentioned Saad, but the other consideration is whatever is going to happen with Devon Toews. You know, we've been talking about, you know, we've been talking about him on a multi-year deal, but if he goes to arbitration and he gets a 1-year deal, he goes to free agency.
Yep.
And he's going to get paid. So that would imagine making both of these trades and not getting to ice that roster.
Yeah, that would be rough.
And not getting to see that group play, and both those guys could leave in free agency. No. I obviously don't think that would happen. The Avs, I think the Avs would be too committed to, and certainly to Taves, where they'd be like, no, we're gonna keep this guy, and we're gonna at least see how this thing goes. Love the Marty McFly jersey. signed by Christopher Lloyd. There's great touch.
So many good ones in here. If you look closely, some of these jerseys are ridiculous, but you know,
I think that's yeah, I was gonna say I think that's an Or jersey.
Yep. A surprising number of Blackhawks jerseys in some of these. Oh, look at this! Look at this! Who is this?
Look at who decided to pop in with us. Where's your jersey collection?
How am I supposed to pop in with no invite?
Oh, really?
I'm not a jersey guy. I cut the sleeves off all my jerseys.
Wow,
That's hardcore.
Dang.
Including my men's league jerseys. I just show off my arms while I'm playing.
You really want a ticket to the gun show there, or
Yeah,
what?
absolutely.
Mm-hmm. I want people to know exactly where they can slash me.
I will not on the wrist, please.
Yeah,
I'll take it on I'll take it on the upper arm. You're gonna take a whack at me, that's cool. But
you know what? I went my whole life without twisting my ankle or anything like that, and it twisted up underneath me in a game 3 weeks ago, and now I really understand why high ankle sprains are like the worst thing.
dude, they linger.
It has not like improved at all. Like it's the same. So I'd rather just snap in half, to be honest.
Straight up, I always prefer to break to a sprain because it's like you just get it fixed and you move on.
Yeah. There's
Old school Jets.
when you break it, it feels like there's nothing you can do, right? Like with a high ankle sprain, you feel like you should be fine,
Yeah.
but you're not.
What is that Landeskog jersey?
Yeah, what is that?
Yeah, I don't know.
I look like Capitals colors.
Yeah.
It's probably like a weird Kitchener jersey.
Oh, that's like the horror show right there.
That's a classic. The Sakic 91.
91 Sakic.
So good.
You will notice that there are no Dude Where's McCarr jerseys on this podcast.
Man,
That Estonia jersey is killer.
At least one of these has the warm up from the Stadium Series, which is excellent. But oh man, I don't know. I just don't get the jersey love as much as a lot of people, I think. Not to say they aren't amazing, but so many people have so many jerseys. And I don't even wear the 2 jerseys that I own.
Same.
Yeah, I don't even get, I have no design knowledge, or I don't care about jerseys like at all. When people are like, people get really into the like jersey design stuff, and I'm just like, whatever, I don't care. Is this all one person?
No.
Okay.
A handful of people. There's a couple in here you can see they have like a lot of jerseys though.
Yeah, because it's the same background on like a lot of them.
The Humboldt jersey there.
Gotta like the OC jersey there from the Miracle team.
Yep. Another Chicago. Or is that the same? I don't know. Too many Chicagos. Get your Chicago stuff out of here. All right?
I don't know anything about jerseys or care much, but I did see that Mighty Ducks like rumored jersey, and that thing looks hideous.
Which the Super Duck one?
Yeah, like whatever their potential 4th jersey or whatever they're going to call it this year looks. It looks horrifying.
I guess. I don't know.
Some of these just look like stores.
Straight up. Like, you could just be a jersey shop.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't know any different. Like...
That's a spelling error right there.
Yeah, the Landeskog.
Yeah, he sent a story along with that one that said that he had ordered, or his in-laws ordered that for him for Christmas from NHL.com. And they sent him that one, and then he obviously was like, what the hell?
Misspell.
Yeah, and they sent him a correct one, but they let him keep the one with the wrong spelling. So I thought that's a super cool like collector's item. You got a misspelled jersey for free.
One of a kind.
Yeah.
Try to get Ladney to sign it.
It'd be pretty funny if you asked him for an autograph and you're like, can you misspell your last name for me?
get like Andrew Ladd to sign it?
That collection is interesting because there's multiple James Neals and a Peter Budaj Tampa Bay Lightning. That was one where I was like,
one of these has a Trent
why?
Vogelhuber jersey in it, and I was like blown away by that. So I don't know where you guys find half these jerseys, to be honest. But I guess y'all got disposable income, I guess, because especially the game used ones, y'all are paying premium prices for out here.
I like that the custom Stanley 96, and then the one next to it is just blank.
Just a blank.
Like, I didn't know what to put on that one.
I'm gonna have to add a German to that World Junior collection pretty soon.
Like game, yeah. How much do game used ones usually run? Jeez, it's gotta be.
The only ones I know are the Avs ones that they'd like auction off, and like the big names go for like thousands of dollars.
Yeah.
There's a hockey store. I don't think it's around anymore, but they used to have the Avs old game used sticks, and it's like they had like 20 Andre Benoit sticks. I was like, oh, nobody want these ones.
He didn't either. That's why they had them.
Yeah.
He just left and was like, "Those are good."
Yeah.
Brings like 30 sticks every year and doesn't get involved enough to break any of them, so
That's right.
they're just left over.
Well, they're also like, he used a short stick too, so it's like, I don't know who can use this.
I liked him.
He was fine.
Yeah, like he was, you know.
Evan, what's your men's league team name?
Sunnyvale, which people are going to kick me off this podcast. I don't watch the show. What's the Trailer Park Boys? I'm like the one person on the team that doesn't watch the show. Our men's or our pond hockey team is the Abominable Flowmen. Yeah.
Does that describe me right now, I guess?
Yeah.
Some abominable flow.
If it turns into a mullet, then yeah.
I could turn it into a mullet pretty quick. That's fair, though. I'll be the Trailer Park Boys guy. You can be the Always Sunny guy. We'll call it even.
I don't watch either.
It's fine.
Well, the problem, isn't there like 15 seasons? Just like Always Sunny, there's like 14 seasons, so it's hard to get in now.
Yeah.
Like
I watched.
Intimidating.
I watched the first 5 years, I think, of Always Sunny, and then it just continued on, and I didn't, and it was like,
yeah,
this is wow, they're still making this, okay,
yeah, like because Trailer Parks is on Netflix, and it's just like I could watch it, or I could watch the same show for the 600th time.
Trailer Park Boys is an excellent show to have on while you're doing something else. Like, I don't want to oversell it. It's definitely something that you have on the side going on. It's not like my main focus when I was watching. And then
I just watched Dream Home Makeover.
Oh, great!
I love that show.
I'm trying to think of other like hockey-ish shows. I guess Canadian.
Josh George's jersey.
There was a show. It was like on for like a year. It was like about a men's league team. I can't remember what it was called, but it was decent. But it got canceled almost immediately.
There's Letterkenny, but that's barely hockey.
Yeah, it wasn't that. It was on like the Sundance channel for some reason.
Okay, yeah. Sure, it wasn't like whatever that show was that I showed on here the other like months ago.
No, it was not that show.
All right. We can take our first period break there, as I do need to acknowledge Breckenridge Brewery on this Free Skate Friday to have some of the beer while you're enjoying whatever jerseys you want, whatever you're doing on a Friday. It might be a little early. It's only 1 p.m., but when you get home this evening, crack a Breck Brew or head on down to the DNVR bar where you can get 8 different types of Breck Brew on tap anytime you visit. You can also go down to the farmhouse in Littleton and get dozens of flavors directly from the source. Some great stuff you can see there at the bottom. You can get $5 off when you give them a call and you use code DNVR for your curbside pickup. You can even grab yourself a little bit of lunch as well. So jump on it today and get yourself some DNVR brew. Second period of the DNVR Avalanche podcast presented by DraftKings Sportsbook, the number 1 rated sportsbook app out there. Evan, we did want to have a little bit of a conversation here. Maybe not the most Free Skate Friday thing ever, but are you concerned about next season? What do you think the odds are of next season actually happening?
Yeah, I am concerned, but I mean, I just read that the NBA is targeted like December 22nd as their start date, so they seem to have it down. But yeah, I think you have to be concerned because they keep moving back everything, and then they also have a very strict cutoff date where they don't want to deal with the Olympics too. So it's like, are we really going to jam a season into 4 months? So yeah, I do have concerns, and it would suck for the Avs just because of it's basically a lost year at that point with a very important core.
Yep. I think that's the reality, and you know, the timing isn't the best for hockey either. If you're realistically after this year, they're going into television rights negotiations again as well. So to not have your product on TV at all in the year before feels like a bit of a rough look as well.
Yeah.
I
mean,
the other side of this conversation that I
true.
actually would almost be interested in seeing, and I talked about this with some people the other day, was what happens when you have a lost season, but you still have Seattle having an expansion draft?
What do you mean what happens?
Like eligibility?
Yeah, because no one played in a season last year, so how does the eligibility function as far as that's concerned? And
I mean,
like,
it would pretty much the same.
just be the same, yeah.
Yeah.
No change.
Yeah. I mean, the other question becomes like, what do you do with the actual draft too?
Yeah, that's true. I mean,
they're not at the GM meetings today. They said that they're not allowing teams to live scout the WJCs. So great. And now these leagues are starting all over the place. I mean, it's the trickle down effect on the draft and the development of the kids that just got drafted. I mean, what's gonna happen if they don't have an NHL season? What are they gonna do about an AHL season?
Yeah, that's the guys in pro. I mean, you would hope they get it done quickly enough that guys could at least head over to Europe and get a little bit of play in over there. I'm sure if the NHL season canceled, some leagues would make exceptions for guys.
Even then, you're talking they would do that at the last minute, right? Cancel the season.
Totally.
And how much season is going to be left in Sweden and Switzerland and Finland? You know, like what?
And they wouldn't be allowed to join the top leagues are going to be full. You're talking about joining lower leagues where you're not playing potentially the competition you would have expected to play at pro. So yeah, it's just a whole trickle down effect. If there's no season, how do you're just going to have a randomized draft order to figure something out, or what are you doing? It's just
you just run it back from last year. Do you redo the lottery?
I mean, they did randomized after their last lost season, sort of, with like weighted.
Yeah,
with the lottery, with the
Crosby one.
Yep.
Bad teams get five balls, and good teams get one. And good luck.
Yep. So,
kind of a clever idea. It was really simple based on. I mean, that's when you think about how the lottery is now, and like all these like combinations that they run. Their original lotto system for the Crosby draft was so basic.
Okay.
It's a different time.
Enough sadness about hockey. Let's roast some people instead. I know we told y'all to send in your rosters, but we didn't want to pick any of your rosters, as you can see us, we're not going to be kind today. Let's put it that way. So
Yeah.
we made sure to not pick y'all's rosters. We appreciate you sending them in, but we wanted to roast some random people on the internet instead of our lovely fan base's rosters. So
yeah, it felt like dunking on our listeners and our base was just sort of a weird thing to do.
So yeah, definitely.
So we're going to utilize the power of the internet, and we're going to go to Cap Friendly, and we're going to pull a bunch of crazy rosters, and then we're going to react live to those, and we're going to talk about the fact that everybody that roots for the Chicago Blackhawks is trying to trade Duncan Keith for a second-round pick.
Second round. That is like one of the strangest things about the whole experience is every single Chicago roster was Duncan Keith for a second.
And he goes it's not like Duncan Keith to the same team. It's Duncan Keith to
all over the
different clubs.
Second round,
but it's always for a second round pick. And it's like, how is it that the entire fan base suddenly decided, well, this guy is definitely worth a second because he's Duncan Keith, but he's old Duncan Keith. So it can't be a first anymore.
All right. Do we have rosters? Here we go. All right. So this is Winnipeg. AJ, I think you selected this one if you want to walk us through it.
Yeah, so this is the Jets solving their center problem by getting Jonathan Taves and a second and third round pick. And all they had to give up, not too expensive, all they have to give up is Kyle Connor, David Gustafson, Jansen Harkins, Sammy Niku, Jack Roslovic, first round pick in 2021 and second round picks in 2022 and 2023.
Oh my God.
And Chicago even retains $4 million.
Incredible.
Kind of doing them a favor. So is Jonathan Taves worth all that anymore?
They actively made their top six worse by making that trade.
Yeah.
Like
That's an immediate downgrade, one by one.
Especially because like they just went out and got Paul Stastny to do that job.
Yeah, right.
And so then they decided to give up Kyle Connor. And then like this is the NHL be a GM mode at play right here because David Gustafson is like he's like an okay, like a nice prospect. He could be a decent NHLer, right? But like that's it. Jansen Harkins is the same thing. Like he's like he's a decent depth player. Sammy Niku, despite the Jets being awful defensively last year, that guy couldn't lock down a job. Roslovic has been trying to lock down a job forever. And then the draft picks are nice. I don't really have a strong objection to the picks. Other than the fact that they're like way in the future.
Yeah, I mean I think the picks are fine, but giving up both Connor and Roslovic. I mean, I know Roslovic hasn't worked out there, but
what is the point of the picks there? Because you're just swapping the same round twice.
It's
yeah, I mean,
it feels like why not just drop one of the seconds and then drop one of the thirds, and it's the same thing. But
yeah, for me, I don't understand why Chicago would take a first round pick in 2023.
Right, they would
if they're rebuilding, they want to get to it.
They would want the 2022 one at absolute latest. Like
yeah, like why would you like it would be a 2021 with like conditions that would push it to 22.
Right.
If need be. Why would they be like, okay, we're rebuilding, we're gonna trade the best center in our franchise's history for a pick in 3 years?
And retain.
Because they had to keep the
And pay him.
2022 first so they could go get Brady Shea.
Oh
yeah.
Yeah, and so like Winnipeg, from Winnipeg's perspective, they're looking at this and they're saying we need center help and we need defense. So they've traded all of their forward depth for Jonathan Taves.
And Sammy Niku on the defensive side.
Yeah. And then they replace Sammy Niku, and then they give up Lucas Pizza and 2 more picks. They give up a first round pick in 2022 for Brady Shea. And they've also done the amazing trick here and convinced Chicago and Carolina to
to retain on
$6
guys.
million between those two players.
Taze's contract has what, 3 years left?
Yeah.
4 years left?
And
3
Shea's
years?
is like 5 years.
And they have one top 2 round picks left in the next 3 years. Kale, can you scroll down just a touch?
I didn't know Lucas Pisa was still around.
Yeah.
Yeah, one
Oh, jeez.
one first round pick, no seconds in the next 3 years.
Okay,
Oh.
so then you look at this lineup. Now, he obviously didn't spend very much time on this because he has Mark Scheifele on the third line.
Yeah, that's not.
And he's got Dominic Donato
on
on
the
his
second
NHL roster. So clearly not a ton of time was spent on this portion of it. But that said, I mean, like, you certainly are feeling a lot better about going into battle with Mark Scheifele, Jonathan Taves, and Paul Stastny down the middle. And in terms of like higher end guys, all it cost you was Connor. Right? I mean,
How do you replace Connor though?
Yeah.
Like, what in this lineup replaces Connor on the left side?
well, clearly it's Dom Toninato.
Yeah, okay.
It's not replacing it so much as just moving the talent to the middle.
Why? I guess my question is, why move Connor when you could have moved Line, who you were going to have to pay?
Well, that's why they got these guys to retain
So they can
all that
still
money
have room
so
for
they can
Line.
pay Line next year.
Okay, yeah, pay him. I guess they have what, 5 mil, 3.5 mil in cap space right there. So
Don't give me that Stan Mikita
you
nonsense.
can give him like 9 million.
Well, the best
Well-
way to get better is to just get older.
And then you look at the defense, and it's like, okay, they gave up that first. All right, now they've got Brady Shea and Josh Morrissey on the left side. You're feeling pretty good about that. You're like, okay, that's decent. And then DeMello and Pionk, can they replicate the years that they had last year? I'm not
Better hope so.
I'm not the world's biggest Neil Pionk fan, so I'm kind of iffy on that. And then you're back to relying on Hellebuck.
Yep. I don't.
They signed Nate Thompson.
They did. And then they signed
what-
Dom Toninato, and it was like, these are all the same person.
It's
Yeah,
literally the
that's gotta
same
be-
stepping stones the Avs were on. They've gone from Gabe Bork to Dom Toninato.
Yeah.
It's got to be Thompson's like 16th team in the NHL. Dude
Yeah.
just keeps finding jobs because he wins some faceoffs.
Yeah, well, he's gonna get traded at the deadline for a 5th round pick.
Should
It's like
we
the most reliable thing.
should we dare dip into the comments on this?
Nope.
Okay. Next. Don't ever go into the comments, boys.
Yeah. I did I was going through, it was 3:00 in the morning, and I was going through Seattle expansions, and people were getting like into fights.
I don't know that I've ever seen a comment on Cat Friendly that has said, yes, this is a good trade.
Holy lordy, that's a lot of explanation.
That is a lot.
I expect them to trade Zadora, but now you have Murphy.
So this is Chicago's trade deadline.
Well, they're just flipping Z.
Well, they start by moving to Hahn and Strome for Kopp, Pullman, and picks. So Chicago's blowing it up.
They're signing Hoffman
And-
just to trade him. Yeah.
And they're not getting a whole lot in return.
No. They get a first for Hoffman. I get maybe a first. I don't even know what those additional details mean. They trade.
He's just talking at that point.
They could also ask for a 3rd round pick.
So imagine turning Artemi Panarin into a 2nd round pick in 2021. Because that's essentially what
Yeah.
Chicago's done here. Artemi Panarin confirms same value as Elias Anderson.
We talk about the paperclip on here a lot,
Yeah.
and this is this is how you go from a house to a paperclip.
Trade down, baby.
I like that he goes and gets Tucker Pullman from Winnipeg to start this thing off, and then gives him back to Winnipeg for a 5th round pick.
I was trying to follow that tree right there.
The Jets are like, we've got to have Tucker Pullman. We have to have that guy. We've
Does
got
he
to
have
get
an
him
explanation for that part here? Because that part I want to understand.
This
Like,
team
what's
is
the logic behind that?
so
And
the only roster player they got is Andrew Kopp, really?
Yeah.
Dan Vladar.
Is that really a roster player? Who is Dan Vladar?
Have you seen their goalies? It's probably be their starter.
I'm really excited for the Kevin Lankinen experience.
Oh God.
Is that a real person?
It's their
We'll find out.
darling prospect in goal.
Yeah. We'll see, man. We'll see. So all of this, and then what's the... Kel, can you scroll down to the picks?
And they trade Brandon Peary back to Vegas.
Yeah,
That's the other part that I really like. Okay, so the picks, they only really did this for they're all in on the 2021 draft.
yeah. And even then, they only have 5 picks in the first 2 rounds, 6 top 100.
Maybe if they pick at the very top of the 4th round, maybe another top 100.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
It'd be like pick like 98.
Their top line is now. Well,
I mean, they still look okay. It's just that they did a lot of this work, and all they got out of it was Andrew Kopp and Dan Vladar in a 1st round pick.
Oh yeah, and he doesn't even have Vladar on
Yeah,
the
he's
team.
not even running Vladar.
Sweet.
So,
He also has Andrew Shaw on the top line, so
I mean, you got to put him somewhere.
you do have to put him somewhere.
I do really like my guy Pia Suter. They're right there. That's my guy to watch.
You're really hooking Kopp up, bringing him in to play him with Pia Suter and Alex Nylander.
Yeah, you've done him some favors.
Okay, next.
What is this? What are they blow me away because it's like, what's the goal here?
I didn't pick any of these.
Are we sure this isn't for the Chicago version of the DNVR podcast?
All right.
Okay.
This one's really quick. I just saw the trade with Colorado and laughed because it's for a can of Pepsi. Oh, wait.
So I guess now it's
For a ball cup. Yeah, a set of balls instead for Alex Killorn. That's all there was to this one. This one isn't like an in-depth.
I do. There were a lot of deals on Cap Friendly where people are just giving NHL players away. Literally, you go in there and it's like 3 players have been given away to a team and there's no return.
Even type in future considerations. All right, so this was an Avs one.
Is this like? Oh, so this is after all the moves.
Yeah, this is current date. First of all, they got Taves for 3.4. They traded Belmar in a 3rd for Derek Ryan to Calgary.
Why did he sign Kamenev?
Yeah, they're bringing Cammy back.
Yep. For unknown reasons. And then they decide to get a 4th for Francouz and trade out a 2nd and a 3rd so Mrazek can be their backup instead.
Injury insurance for Grubauer, clearly.
Is Mrazek really that much better than Francouz? I mean, I guess he's been an okay starter for Carolina, but...
And worth that much more?
Yeah. We've talked about they have to be careful with this whole trading future picks because at this point now, you look at that pick haul, they don't have a second round pick for the next 3 years.
And only 1/3.
They just had a year where they didn't pick in the second round. So you're talking about 4 years in a row where you're just not participating.
Yep.
And then 2 years in a row where you don't have a 3rd round pick either. And it's like, okay, now you are making it. You have gone all in on the idea that you cannot develop anybody outside of the 1st round. And we don't even know if you can develop a late 1st rounder. So you're all in on it for Peter Mrazek.
It doesn't feel like these are the moves that make the Avs more of a contender every single year.
Yeah, I'm not.
Derek Ryan is not cheap, is he? Like, how much does he cost?
That's a good point. I don't
money wise.
Scroll down to the roster for us, Kale.
Yeah. Cap space is basically nothing.
3 million.
mil. Yeah, that's way too much. You have no
Yeah,
cap
you've
space
doubled the
at all.
price of Belmar, but you haven't
Yeah.
gotten double the player.
He brought Kamenev back, and where is he?
Your bottom six with this lineup now costs like $16 million.
Yeah, this is a really expensive bottom six. Boy, the team looks good on paper, though, doesn't it?
I love the first comment. Francois is worth more than that.
Worth more than a fourth rounder. I would think he probably is, but it wouldn't be like
Significant.
yeah it would be maybe a third. Okay.
All right. So I have this one really quick since we're on Avs ones. If that one didn't do it for you, instead,
Ooh, dark mode.
Ian Cole, Connor Timmins, Shane Bowers, JT Compher, and a first for Damon Severson and Kyle Palmieri. You're not only giving away the farm, you're giving up 2 roster players to get Damon Severson for 3 years at $4 million and old man Kyle Palmieri for 1 year at 4.5. Basically.
Why?
So Kyle Palmieri is one guy that I have no real reasoning behind this, but I just don't like him.
Is this like your Brendan Dillon thing where you're just like,
Yeah.
I hate that guy?
Yeah, I don't. Well, I don't like Brendan Dillon, but Palmieri, especially with Saad, it's like, well, what's the point now?
Yeah, the ship kind of sailed. Well, and then look at that draft pick haul.
Yep.
And then Severson is like, well, what's the point now? We just got Taves.
They don't have Byram on the roster. They don't have Timmins on the roster. I guess they didn't do scratches, but
They did well, and he traded Timmins so he could get Damon Severson.
right. They traded Timmins and Cole so they could play Severson instead for the same price as Cole, essentially. I mean, he did fill out the special teams though, where he put Palmieri on the top power play unit.
I don't understand why you get Palmieri. Like, this would have been how you start your offseason and not what you do after the Saad and Taves deals.
Yep.
Yeah,
Because
literally
now-
both of those guys have been filled, those spots.
Yeah. Well, because he's got Saad on the third line next to Tyson Jost and Val Nichushkin, and it's like, well, that's a huge, colossal waste of what he does.
Well, that's an even more expensive bottom six than the last one, isn't it?
Right, with Saad down there at $5 million. Yeah. Okay, we do need to take our second period break really quick and acknowledge Strava Craft Coffee, the CBD infused coffee that has really changed lives. If you want to try it before you buy a subscription service, you can get it down at the DNVR bar, cold brew and everything. Once you love it, head on over to StravaCraftCoffee.com. Use that DNVR promo code you see at the bottom of the screen, DNVR20, and get 20% off when you purchase. You sign up for their subscription service and get 2, 3, 4, 6, or 8 weeks of product and save 20% off every single time you buy. All right. Third period of the DNVR Avalanche podcast presented by DraftKings Sportsbook, the #1 rated sportsbook app out there. Rudo, AJ, Evan, and Kale bringing to you some more roster roasts. We got a bunch more to get through here. So whatever's next, hit me with
roast,
it, Kale.
roast.
AJ's like already rubbing the bridge of his nose.
More
on this
Jets.
one. Another Jets.
Wow, it's the same one. I was like,
Oh, AJ and I must have linked the same one. I didn't think I did a Jets one, but apparently I did.
You just saw the craziness for Taves, and we're like,
Yeah, was like, well, all right, I'll just throw that one on there.
yeah, we got it. This is too good.
Oh yeah, here we go.
oh boy.
Whoa!
Oh, is that Landeskog or Landeskog? Because
Yeah, if it's
That's not
Landeskog,
enough.
this is a good deal. But if that's Landeskog, this is a mess.
So I
boy.
I would
and
like-
they're
point out, he says, so Colorado hands the C to McKinnon, and Landeskog in the last year of his contract, he might be moving on.
and he's giving up legitimate players for Travis Zajac.
Yep.
Like, what?
Isn't Travis Zajac like 37?
He is
Yeah, he's
very old.
he shut down Malkin like 10 years ago. So, that sticks in their mind.
Jim Rutherford on the ball. Been trying to get Travis Zajac for a long time, huh?
He's 35 and he put up 25 points last year.
I like how his explanation is just calm down. Don't get mad, guys.
You know how many of these I was looking through that their explanation was this won't happen, or my more favorite one is all the ones titled bored. Like I like to think NHL GMs are just sitting around bored and coming up with like insane trades all the time.
You have to justify the insanity.
I believe it, dude. I bet Jim Rutherford is this person. That's why he has the confidence to say this won't happen.
Because it is Jim Rutherford.
Yeah, because this is clearly Jim Rutherford, who's decided that Landeskog is what he needs to fix things, but he's gonna give up Jason Zucker and Marcus Pettersson, whom he needs both of. So he's going to consolidate two guys that he needs into one guy that he thinks he needs. So
I love this. They have 4 picks in the 2021 draft, and 3 of them are 7th
rounder. They need to seriously just find a home for those picks.
Yep.
They need to trade that 2nd rounder.
Just give up on the 2021 draft entirely.
Don't go. It's gonna be in Montreal. Come up with a reason. Say that you just think Montreal smells funny. You don't like hot dogs.
I like how
you're done.
He's justifying that Zajac trade, saying they got better, and I'm like, he's a better player than McCann? I don't even know about that.
What, Zajac is a 35-year-old aging player who's on the last year of his contract on a team that is young and still has a long way to go. Pittsburgh isn't that young. Oh, he's talking about New Jersey. Yeah. Okay, I see. All right. Where does he put Landeskog in this roster? I gotta know.
It's got to be next to Crosby.
You think? You don't think next to Malkin?
I hope not.
Kale with the suspense.
Oh, it's Malkin.
Yeah, it's next to Malkin. So you can run Kasperi Kapanen on the top line? Okay.
Wow, he put Samuel
Poulin in the lineup
in the NHL. Look at all these guys that he's scratching too.
Well, he's got to put him in because Zajac makes $10 million or whatever.
$5.7 million.
Oh my!
Why would you have Samuel Poulin in your lineup when you've got Colton Sevier and Evan Rodriguez and
these dudes are just buried
Sam
in the AHL now?
Yeah, like
too many scratches. Where's their cap at?
Yeah, why is your roster so big?
What is they got to be over the cap here. What's going on?
Scroll up a touch, Kale.
No, what?
But their roster size is 24.
Well, that's
because they're under the cap. They could do what they want. Who the hell is Joseph Pierre Olivier?
POJ? He sucks.
POJ, he was a first-round pick for Arizona.
Oh, well,
2 years ago.
There you go. I read it, Joseph Pierre. I know who Pierre Oliver Joseph is. I told you guys on Discord I can't read.
Yeah, I was like, hey, go read my article. And he was like, I can't read. All right, then.
Impressive, all the writing you've done for us.
Don't go read it then. Jeez.
Okay.
I don't write. I just talk, and then it puts it into words. I have to talk and speak.
Dude, whatever annotation device you have is amazing, man.
Yeah, that thing is good.
I just yell. Here, Edward Belmar dash C+.
Whoa! Yeah, what is all of this?
Here's the Wild doing stuff. first of all, they offer sheet Ryan Strome, or they pay Ryan Strome after trading Matt Zuccarello back to New York.
Makes perfect sense. They need a second line center, so the Rangers get rid of that guy so they can go and get another wing.
They also get rid of Alex Stalock and don't seem to replace him.
Yeah, isn't he their starter?
I'm a big fan of this dude being like, okay, Alex Stalock in a 7th is what I need to pry that 5th rounder out of Anaheim.
Whoa, look at that trade at the bottom.
Yeah, the trade at the bottom is why this made the list.
Who is Damien Giroux?
I don't know, but
He's
apparently
somebody.
he is super good.
Whoa.
For
All right,
Laine
then.
and Lowry.
Yeah. Could they trade Damian Giroux and Nico Sturm straight up for Adam Lowry? Because I don't think so.
Yeah,
I
I
think
don't
I would
think
probably
either.
just keep
Yeah.
Adam Lowry and be like, I'm good. But then again, a 2023 first round pick. Why is this considered all that valuable to these teams?
Been banking on Minnesota being bad for a while, AJ.
Conditional 4th if Victor S scores 35 points or more. I don't think that's happening.
I don't think Victor Rask has ever scored 35 points.
I just love that what you see if you go through these and because you can see the teams that get dealt with the most, and it's like tons of Detroit and New Jersey because people are just like,
Pick the bones.
they're gonna solve our cap problems. We're just gonna give them crap
Yep.
to take on our expensive baddies. And it's like those teams are clearly not interested.
They also traded Marcus Johansson after acquiring him.
Yeah. So this is the thing that blows me away, right? Is that now Ryan Strome is their number 1C.
Yep.
And they've done all of this. This is a team that has to rebuild. And all they've added is Ryan Strome, who may or may not be good, a 5th round pick, a 3rd round pick, for some reason, picks in the rounds 6 and 4, and Alex Biega.
Yeah, what's their pick capital look like?
And like Patrick Laine and Adam Lowry. Like those are solid, like those guys would help them, but
Who they
Who's passing the line?
devastatingly underpaid for, by the way.
right. And like even then, they're still in a position where it's like you guys are gonna be giving up a top 5 pick in this trade.
So he's trading Zuccarello back to the Rangers. Didn't Zuccarello like talk a bunch of crap about the Rangers and how they handled that situation?
It was not the most.
I would assume he's got a no trade clause and it's just going to shut that down.
And even looking at this even further, like he gives up the Pittsburgh 2021 first,
Yep.
and not Minnesota. So he's
Not
like,
the valuable one.
I'll draft in the top 5 while getting Patrick Laine.
Oh,
This
amazing.
is why you don't trust people from Minnesota.
I want to read the comments on here.
Yeah, I kind of hope that there are. a
He
few
did
on
special
there.
teams too.
Dude, he went all in.
This is just he's got Kaprizov coming over.
Yep.
On the second unit, no less, because he's got to have Zach Parise up top.
Is he? No. Okay. Man, that team
Boy,
is not good.
that goaltending, they are really taking that chance. Cam
Yeah.
Talbot and Kakkonen. Yeah. Kale, are there any comments on this one? Because we could definitely use some community dunking.
I would love to hear whether he will your number.
You're gonna have to pay to get rid of Rask. Yep.
Sounds about right.
Insulting. I am insulted.
Lock would bring back more, though.
Minnesota shouldn't be going after Line. Yeah, that's the first problem. Yeah, you don't want
Both
good
teams
players.
say no to the Jets trade. Both teams. We found that guy's burner.
All right.
What
Nick.
the?
You don't. Nobody
Do a
needs
couple
Patrick
more
Laine.
here. Do a couple more.
They're like Minnesota. Minnesota didn't need no Patrick Laine for a 2023 first rounder.
All right. So this is Buffalo doing things for reasons. Gives up a first to give away Okposo. Goes and
Okay.
gets Antti Ranta.
Kind
Trace,
of an expensive price for Antti Ranta, dude. They probably could have just done it for Carter Hutton.
yeah, I think they definitely didn't need to add Asplund, but
They moved the centerpiece of the O'Reilly deal for Brett Kulak.
yep.
Ronta probably gets hurt flying to
They give
Buffalo.
multiple pieces, or they give up
Whoa.
Montour for a couple of low mid picks, and then Risto for Roslovic 1-for-1.
Dude, they just gave him away.
Yep.
They were like, "Hey, we will take a 30-point bottom six forward for our 50-point defenseman."
Yep.
That guy's way they are a 30-point forward to 50-point defenseman are of equal value.
This team, another team that it feels like actually made themselves worse actively.
Dude.
Who do they have playing on the right side now? If Ristolainen and Montour are gone,
Taylor Hall can play defense. Yoki Haryu's on their top line or their top D pair down there.
I mean, he signs Granlund and Hoffman in free agency, and so the forward core is good.
yeah, this is like an NHL 20 forward core, just like a bunch of random pieces.
But he's playing William Borgen.
Yeah, but that defense is like, dude.
Yeah,
and
that's
then-
And Roslovic's a fourth liner on their team.
yeah. So they traded Rasmus Ristolainen for a fourth line forward.
Choices were made.
Wow, dude, Curtis Lazar actually still on this roster. He didn't find some random reason to dump him in Colorado for a 6th round pick. It's impressive. A lot of these people do that. There's a bunch of random deals where the Avs go and get Curtis Lazar for a late round pick. And then Rudo and I were talking about it yesterday. Like,
Yep.
Why do people keep connecting these dots?
Just randomly. All right, that one was pretty quick. Next.
These are some bad GMs.
Yes. It's something else. I'm impressed, to be honest. Oh, God. What did I even do for that one? What did they sign Middlestat to there? I don't want to know.
Yeah. I didn't have a problem with the Sabres one with those contracts that got signed. Those were fine.
Kale's like sifting through all the links I sent him now.
Yeah.
Like, oh, God, which one of these?
We like link dumped Kale.
All right, here we go. Here's a Detroit one. Chalowski and Hoffman in a 4th for Sandin because Toronto needs...
Sign and trade. Sign Hoffman and deal him. Are they?
Because Toronto needs more forwards, too.
And like Rasmus Sandin is better than Dennis Chalowski?
Yeah, by like a lot. And then they basically just go get picks by sinking cap and getting Louis Eriksson and Krejci. But
I love all the 2023 picks getting moved.
yeah,
All the people who are like, look, I don't care about giving up high picks in 3 years. It's fine.
that's 3 years from now's problem.
Right. There will be 2 other GMs will have come in and by that time. It's fine.
Do you see that Hoffman? He gave Hoffman 6.2, and then just to retain 3 million.
3 million of it. Yeah. What? Do they really have this much cap space? Because they're taking on Krejci and Eriksson entirely too. I guess they moved Filppula out somehow to Vancouver, but
Yeah. The idea that they would trade for David Krejci.
yeah. I guess Krejci goes on LTIR potentially.
No, he's on the 5th line.
Yeah, he's at the bottom of the line.
David Krejci is a $7 million scratch. Let's go.
And Eriksson is too.
Yeah. Eriksson gets scratched. I like that they signed John Merrill just to scratch him too.
So they're like actual starting lineups. Cap hit is like below the floor. Wait, what is this lineup?
I don't. That.
Detroit is bad. and I don't know.
This
about-
GM is the worst.
I saw a meme on a Simpsons like a group where it's like Homer when he pulls up the picture of the grill, he's like, "Oh, this looks great," and then he looks at his actual grill and it's like upside down. He's like, "Why doesn't mine look like that?" And the picture is the Avs roster. He's like, "Oh, this looks great," and he like pulls it down. And it's the Red Wings roster. He's like, "Why doesn't mine look like that?"
All right, let's do one more, and then we can wrap this bad boy up.
The great part about some of these is that these rosters roast themselves.
Yeah, it's not hard. You just have to open the roster and you just go, well, another Line A deal.
Yes. Hold on, let me see some of these free agency signings.
Ooh, that Barzal.
Yeah, you gotta. I mean, when in doubt, you gotta go and get Jacob Pavanka off your reserve list.
Go out and get old man Andy Green.
Yeah,
For
keep him
another
around.
year.
Oh, future considerations deals. He's too
Yes,
lazy to put anybody.
that's what I'm saying. People are giving folks away. Like the Line A deal, it starts bad because you're like Andrew Ladd, and you're like, ooh, that's rough.
Imagine
then, like,
Andrew Ladd
Andrew Ladd going back to Winnipeg.
Yeah. But then Oliver Wahlstrom, Ryan Pulak, and a first-round pick. That's a nice start.
I'm not that high on Wallstrom.
Me neither. I'm not that high on Wahlstrom or Pulak, but I mean, it's at least a legitimate, like, they're starting to put pieces together that makes sense for a Line A offer.
What are these trades? Like,
Yeah, and then they're just
A
giving
second round?
dudes away.
for future. Oh,
They've given away their 2021 draft, so for future considerations, which are AHL contracts.
Yep. Just so they can dump more cap.
Yeah. And give Barzal a 3-year deal. They did all this work to give Matt Barzal a 3-year deal.
Not like 7.
Right. This isn't like to lock down Matt Barzal for 8 years and be like, okay, we got him at $9 million. We are
Do
set.
they even have the cap space to extend Line A?
That's next year's problem, very clearly. And if all else fails, you can just dump 6 of your NHL players for future considerations.
What's the lineup look like here for New York? What do they have at their bottom 6? I gotta know.
It's the same fourth line.
How are they still paying their bottom 6 like $20 million when they dumped all those?
best fourth line in hockey.
The problem is, you look at that defense. All of a sudden, your only guys making any money are Boychuk and Letty, and both are bad now.
Yep.
Oh man, I got it.
This doesn't. There's 0% chance they have the money to sign Line A next year too. 0%.
Line A with Barzal would be pretty sweet to watch, though.
Would it?
Line A doesn't move, so Barzal moves all the time. So he just
with
stand there.
You're like, okay, well, now we know who's scoring the 2 goals every game.
Are there enough pucks on the ice for a line of Lee and Line A together? Like,
Definitely, because Line A would just fire off bombs, and then whatever gets blocked, Lee would try and pigeon his way home.
Fair enough.
He would just stand there and just whack away. You know, he's going to do what Brandon Saad's going to do in Colorado, which is just go to the net and get a whole bunch of free goals.
Must be nice.
Oh, see, they've got a problem here because they have Kiefer Bellows in the lineup. Didn't that guy just get suspended for substance abuse?
Probably.
Yeah, look at that. That bottom 6 is expensive too.
Yeah, why like, flip Josh Bailey and Kiefer Bellows?
Yep.
Or Bafilier. Yeah. Oof. That's an expensive forward core.
That's not that deep.
It's a lot of well, and Beauvillier's only got 1 year left on that deal. So,
and Bellows is the only one making less than $1 million in their forward core.
Wait, didn't Matt Martin's a free agent, isn't he? Or did he already resign?
That was this.
That was one of the moves.
Signed him, yeah.
Brought him and Andy Green back for $1.5 million a piece. Oh, and then they have the bad Sebastian Aho
Yep.
on defense. I'm a big fan of this illegal lineup where they're playing 12 forwards and 7 defensemen.
Bring it. Can't stop us.
Yeah, the other Sebastian Aho will make all the difference. The Finnish Sebastian Aho. Or I'm sorry, he's the Swedish one.
Yeah, the Finnish one's the good one.
Yeah, that's good Sebastian Aho. The Islanders are a mess.
I'm gonna take a random team on Cap Friendly and make a roster and send it to you guys. And just put together the most random thing, and I'm gonna make sure that the explanation starts with, "I know, guys, this isn't happening, but if it did,"
That's where you have to try and replicate my Ekblad for Uberdo trade, which involved 9 guys going to Florida.
Make sure you put Avs trades in there because there are not many people trading with the Avs right now.
It's the weirdest thing, dude. Everybody wants to trade with New Jersey and Detroit, and it's like those teams are shitty. Nobody wants to come to the Avs and be like, "Oh, we're going to try and get one of those good players off their roster." They just leave them be. It's like the fear of Joe Sakic has extended to the entire hockey base.
I'm not going to put my name on it, but you guys will know it's mine when you see I'm giving up a top 10 pick for Z.
That'll be the sign.
And extending him for 8 years.
All right. Well, on that note, hope y'all enjoyed the roster roasts. Something a little different, but I know we certainly had fun with them. Something we can do a bit more regularly, given that there's literally hundreds of these posted on Cap Friendly every single day.
Yeah.
So if you guys like it, let us know, and we'll do it regularly on Free Skate Friday. But bunch of other cool stuff coming for you, of course, during the off season. Maybe next week, maybe not till the week after, depending on how things shake out. But we got a ton of guests coming on, so excited for a conversation about not just the Avs, but the entire league over the off season. It should be a lot of fun. And yeah, on that note, we're gonna get out of here. Hope y'all.
Wait. Are we wearing costumes next Friday?
Ooh, good call because it's Halloween.
So it's just a regular day for you?
Maybe I'll get the mullet.
Chuckles over here.
I'll get the abominable mullet for Halloween. We'll see. We do gotta get.
We actually do have mullets for pond hockey. We bought fake mullets to all wear.
Nice.
So mine's been sitting in my bag for 3 years, so it's probably got all sorts of
problems.
Still smells better than.
So Rudo, you can borrow it if you want. Yeah.
A serious roster breakdown? That's kind of what this whole week was about. We did a lot of that this week.
A lot of looking at the Avs roster from top to bottom.
Yeah. Their organization
serious.
top to bottom, man. We were talking about Tyler Weiss and all kinds of guys.
Nicky Lieberman on there.
That's right.
All right. Well, we do, of course, need to talk about WGT Golf, the gaming sponsor here at DNVR. Golf game loved by more than 20 million people around the world. We have a tournament going on right now, the Pumpkin Spiced Open, I believe it's called. You can jump into WGT and play with hundreds of us. Make sure to go to dnvrgolf.com, search for DNVR3 to join our clubhouse and to join in on the fun. Loved by a ton of people, bunch of different types of way to play. It's just a fun little game. You can play both on your computer or your PC. If you're a golf fan, you will enjoy it. I guarantee it. On that note, I hope all y'all enjoy the rest of your weekends, and we will talk to y'all again on Monday. Yeah, I have music up still, totally. Gonna play